What's up, guys?
How's it going?
Good. Guys and girls in the got a little feedback. Guys and girls in the chat, how y'all doing? I'm happy
Lucky
to be
style.
back amongst the living. uh, I'm probably 80%, so that's an 80% me is better than well, I don't know, better than something though. Better than nothing. How about that?
I don't know. I don't. There's a debate to be said either way. We had some fun conversations about you while you were gone.
Oh, trust me, I watched the shows. I knew what was going on. Amateur Outdoors, Pickle Outdoors, in the house. Good to see y'all.
What's up,
Appreciate you guys
guys?
stopping in. Scully Nation in here. Good to see you. SoFlo, David Martin, Hooked Up and Backlash. Golly, we got a quick crew, don't
Got
we?
a crew in here today, guys.
Yeah.
Appreciate y'all coming and hanging out with us.
Absolutely.
Cheers.
Thank you all.
Absolutely. Cheers, guys.
Yeah.
Cheers to you.
Yeah.
Hopefully everybody had an amazing 5-day weekend.
5-day weekend. Who had a 5-day weekend?
Dude, it's Labor Day weekend. It's to be expected, being that it's a holiday celebrating, labor, which is ironic in and of itself, that you're going to take Thursday and Friday off beforehand.
Oh.
Wish I could have.
Yeah, I didn't know that rule either, but I was too out of it to care about being off. Matter of fact, here's my sob story is this Thursday I'm supposed to be going to Canyon Lake for a 4-day weekend with a bunch of my Army buddies, and we had to, one of them canceled like 2 days ago. He just got hit with COVID. And then me and Audrey, we're both still feeling puny and not going to be no fun. So we both canceled out too. So basically the whole thing just can't, everybody else decided, we're not going. So the whole thing got canceled. We're going to push it back. We'll do it another time.
That's a bummer to hear that, but it's been going around. I'm surprised that we're not talking about pandemic 2.0. We can leave politics aside, but I've had a lot of family members that have been dealing with sickness. It's early in the school year. It's going to happen.
Yeah. Pickles, I wish, man. We're going to talk about boat. We're going to talk about boat. We got some news on that.
Yeah, we are.
That front. So, hey, Ben's in the house. Good to see you, Ben.
What's up, Ben?
Ben?
Yeah. So, Stanley, that video you just dropped today, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
which
man.
was, I started recording that the day after we got back from Mexico. Like, it has been just nonstop.
If you guys haven't seen that one, when we're done, go check that one out. That was a good video. I enjoyed the show. Your editing and your B-roll and all that rivals any fishing channel I watch now.
Man, I am honored on that. Thank you.
I'm serious too. I look at if you guys Nick Stanzik, right? Recently, his wife has started taking over editing duties on their videos. Not all of them, but you can tell the ones he does and the ones she edits, and she does a really good job. I'm like, man, she really upped his game, but it's still not at the level where yours is at. So,
nice. I was expecting it to be like, you're almost right there with them. They took a step back with the wife, or I expected it to kind of go that direction. I wasn't expecting that. Thank you.
no, I'm telling you,
appreciate that.
You're killing it. I really enjoy that.
Cool. I'll tell you what. There are some things I'm playing with, and I really appreciate that I'm getting some good feedback on that. If anybody else has words, even if they're like contradictory or any of that, like I want anything and everything I can get. But I will say one thing. I've been ecstatic about it for a couple of days, for 2 days now. Over the weekend, I filmed what I am considering. Like, I hope this all pans out. I hope the editing works and all of that fun stuff. But I filmed the craziest fishing sequence I have ever filmed. I hope it all worked out. I hope the camera worked, because I've been having camera failures and stuff. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. But man, if it works, like if all this comes together, I'm excited.
Nice.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Haney tourney this weekend. All right. Good luck, man. I hope you lay them down there.
Good luck. Haney tournament. That's no small deal, man. That's a big deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I did it. I invited this conversation. My apologies to everybody in the chat. I did it.
Yeah. And as far as the being sick, Scully Nation, the COVID and all that. The thing I'm seeing when I talk to other folks is it doesn't hit everybody the same.
Yeah.
Some people don't ever get the fever, but they lose taste and all that. And other people, and even me and Audrey, right? We don't have the exact same symptoms as far as the ones that are worse for each of us. So it's pretty weird. My biggest thing now, I still got the cough and my head is just like a balloon, but I've got no energy. Like those of you that are on Facebook, I had to replace that part on my truck this weekend. I did the transfer case shift module. It's it's not. Yeah, I'm climbing underneath, in and out from underneath the truck. I got it up on stands and stuff, but I was completely tanked. Just the rest of that day, I just sat in my chair and everything hurt. I was just achy all over. It just exhausted me. So I got to get my wind back, I guess is what you'd say.
Yeah. Was that your second time getting it?
First time. I've never had it before. Yeah.
You're so behind the times. Dude, come on.
Don't jinx me like that.
It's almost 2023. Most of us are working on like round 2 or 3.
At
One's
least.
enough.
Scully's had it 4 times already. So
Are you serious?
Golly.
That sucks. That sucks. But dude, I want your antibodies.
Right?
That's hardcore. On the
Wow. Dang, man.
That sucks. But again, like if that's the case, again, I like your antibodies.
Yeah, you survived. Whew.
Ben.
All right.
Hey, pull up Ben's comment there.
That last one?
Yeah. So Ben, I appreciate you noticing that. I am drinking a martini, and those are jalapeno olives.
That was the wrong one.
I appreciate you catching that.
Martini, aren't we? I'm drinking water. In the last 2 weeks, I drank 2 beers and they just didn't go down well. So I haven't. So 2 beers in 2 weeks. That's all I drank. So I'm sick. if I'm not drinking a drink,
if you're sober.
Yeah, golly, sick and sober. That's bad. Grant, what have you been up to this weekend? We already know that Stanley filmed his greatest creation yet.
Greatest sequence. It's a moment. Like I'm not saying everything. I'm not saying I'm going viral. Nothing like that.
Oh,
I just had a super like the greatest sequence I've ever filmed.
And I've been seeing you on TikTok. I've been seeing you.
Playing with some things. Playing with some stuff.
All right, Grant.
Well, I got a lot of garden stuff done in between the rains. We had right at 1 inch and 1/8 Sunday night of rain. I mean, it was pretty good rain and chance of rain every day over the weekend. It turned off hot Monday, but we went squirrel hunting regardless. Took the 9-year-old boy, my buddy's a friend of mine, his son. We've been taking fishing the past couple times. He shot at a few, but we still came home empty-handed. But it was fun. His first squirrel hunt, so
that's cool.
Nice.
Maybe next time. We did see some doves, so we're going to try to get back out there dove hunt. Me and him one of these evenings this week.
Sweet, that would be very cool.
Yeah, I like the sound of that. I'm behind. I'm trying to get a rabbit hunt going.
Yeah, I don't think our rabbit season comes in until November.
Oh man, we don't have a season. We can go to town on them here.
Just anytime.
Yeah, it's any time of day. There's no limits on them. You can shoot them in the neighbor's backyard. There's no law against that.
I don't know that you might want to check on that one, folks, before you.
I didn't see it in the outdoor annual.
Something about private property or something. I don't know. Something. Danny Baker's in the house.
What's up, Danny? We'll be talking about you in a minute.
He's listening while he's driving. All right. As long as you're not drinking while you're driving, I guess you're all right. You can listen while you drive.
That's it.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I think I mentioned it last week. Kyler had a MRI done on Wednesday. We found out Friday that he has to have surgery. He tore his ACL.
Yeah. He tore it. Oh, man.
We got surgery Thursday.
I'm sorry to hear that.
He's going to be out first week of basketball practice. He tore his ACL, so he's going to be out for the whole season.
Man, and a lot of rehab ahead of him.
Yeah.
My daughter, she's an athletic trainer, head trainer at one of the high schools here, and she's been pretty successful with her student athletes as far as she's done a lot of ACL stuff, MCL, and all that. So it's not going to be fun for him, but if he's willing to put in the work and he's got a good rehab person working with him, he'll be back to good shape next year.
Yeah, we're hoping so.
Yeah.
Yeah, good luck on that, man. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's his sophomore season?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So, I mean, if it's going to happen, I like, not that anybody could like want anything or schedule it or whatever, but my thought is like better freshman or sophomore year than senior, junior,
Yeah.
Senior year that'd be the big bummer, because that's the one where you're in peak, shape. If you're not going pro, this is going to be your peak season, time to shine.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the one that personally, like, I'm looking forward. I was actually going to ask you about how we can go about watching those games. Talked about that. Like, I was watching the live streams in high school, but I wasn't sure how the college was doing it.
Right.
I'm looking forward to seeing what he does his senior year.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
Family
Yeah,
day at
we're
the
at-
zoo. I like that.
Yeah, very cool.
Good days.
Yeah. I like going to the zoo.
We were in Waco. I think it was 2 years ago. We kind of do Thanksgiving at my brother's house every year, up in Waco, which is like 5 hours. It's a little bit of a drive, a little bit of a travel. So we try to enjoy the times when we do. And a couple years ago, we went to the zoo up there while we were there. We had a really interesting time while we were there that I can't talk about on camera, but so we had a blast. I ended up filming the whole thing, and the video wasn't something that was like, oh, let's put this on YouTube and let's like get a bunch of views and blah, blah, blah. It was just like, I just really enjoyed like being able to relive that experience with the family. Like, it was one of those family movie kind of moments. And I never published it or anything. It's just one of those I can kind of go back to from time to time. And I appreciate that the, guy who did it edited it decent for future me to watch.
Yeah, that's cool. David says, wait till cooler weather for the rabbits because of ticks.
Yeah, so we've had all this tropical storm activity right now, and our temperatures are in like the low 80s. This is South Texas. That is cooler weather. That's as cool as it gets.
Right.
I'm kidding. I will be mindful of that.
Pickle say he didn't touch a rod all weekend, just hanging out with family and gearing up for salmon fishing in the world famous Salmon River. Must be nice. That sounds like
I'm expecting some quality content out of that when that happens. Like, you got high expectations on your shoulders.
Scully said hog will be coming up as colder weather comes as well. But definitely rabbits go down better in cooler months. Yeah, parasites and stuff like that. That's true. That's true.
Parasites, second. Yeah, I've never had issues with them, but I'm not going to lie. I have definitely never hunted them in even September. We do always kind of wait for. We always kind of did it in like December, January, and February. I am getting a little antsy with it. I'm not going to lie.
Same here. Well, pay your $100 to go out one of them places and shoot some dove.
So there's a couple of conversations here that I'm talking about where I can't have this conversation on camera, but I will have this conversation in the podcast. If you haven't checked out the Tackle Box Talk podcast, it's kind of like this, but I don't even get in trouble with the law when I say things on there. So check that out.
There you go. So, other than being sick, my big news is, and those of you who've been paying attention probably hear us talk about once in a while, we were talking about a boat, right? I sold my boat, my 18-foot Mako, back in June, and since then we've been on the hunt. A couple have fallen through that we thought we were going to get, and then the current boat we've been working on for at least a month, right, guys? It's been about a month, and I can say officially it's ours. As of today, it's ours. We actually, technically, we're going to close tomorrow, but the funds
Yes.
the bank says you owe us a bunch of money, so the boat is technically ours. We just got to close tomorrow and then find time to go down to Port O'Connor and pick it up and drag it back home. So I shared pictures, just odd pictures here and there with people once in a while just to get it out there. But I've got some pictures I'm willing to share, and we can share some details if y'all like with what we got going on here. So there she is.
That is wicked. That is a solid, sick piece of boat.
She is a 2003 Grady White Sailfish 282. So she's a 28-foot walk around. And I just got a few pictures. She's powered by twin 4-stroke Yamaha 225s. So she can get where she's got to go. You can see the helm up there, a couple chairs, got a lot of rod holders.
No doubt.
That is
and
sick.
I'm going to go through the pictures, and then I'm going to share some more details with y'all about how this goes down. But Weiss' main objective to have on the boat, the next boat, was supposed to be a head, and there it is. So there's a cabin, it's got a sink, it's got a little refrigerator, and a little like propane type stove. It's got all electronics, but they're not all in great shape, and they're not current. So that Garmin on the left is fine, and it's got the nav on it, and it's got the fish finder on, so it's good. The Ray Marine beside it is for the radar. That screen's burnt out, so there's something I got to do there. And then it does also have autopilot, but there's some issues there. So why are you buying a boat with issues? We'll talk about that in a minute. There's the back deck. There's a bench seat back there. There's a couple other seats that you can't see that are behind the captain, behind the helm, right? Like the person taking this picture is probably standing beside them on each side of them. But that's the work area. That's where blood's going to be thrown.
Is that what kind of ladder you got on the top left corner there? That's out the stern.
Top left corner in the picture we're looking at?
Yeah, is that isn't that the ladder for getting in and out of the water? Or no?
Oh, we might not be on the same picture. The picture with the motors, here, I'll show that. That's the ladder right there. See it beside the motor there?
Yeah, that's awesome, by the way. Much easier to do those than those fold-out things.
Yeah, I agree. I was worried about holding my weight getting in it in dry land, but it did just fine because I had to use it.
Yeah, that speaks volumes.
Yeah. So it's done good. So here's the deal. It needs some work, but you know what? To buy a boat of that caliber that doesn't need work, I'm going to have to spend almost 3 times what we spent on that boat. In other words, to get something new like that, I'm almost 60. I'm not going to get to a point where I can afford a $200,000 boat new. So for my folks like me, right, you find what you can afford, and then you have to fix it up to how you want it, your standard, and maintain it. And that's what I've always done. My vehicles, right? I hardly ever take a vehicle to the shop. And a lot of people are like, well, I can't afford that. No, I can't afford it either. So that's what you do. You buy what you can afford, and then you learn how to work on what it is to make it nice so you can have nice stuff, right? So I don't know how to work on cars, or I don't know how to work on a boat, or I don't know how to do woodwork or whatever. Nobody does until they do it, right?
We were talking about that with HVAC last week.
Yeah, you don't know until you do it. And so for me, especially on automobiles, when I was young, I wanted a nice hot rod, but parts are expensive, and getting somebody to do the work for you is even more expensive. So I learned by trial and error. And yes, sometimes I mess some shit up on old cars, but I learned to take care of them and fix them up myself, right? And the same thing with boats. That very first boat I had before the Mako, all it required was a bunch of dang work. So I learned quickly. And then the Mako, it didn't require as much, because it was new. We bought that new. But to get it the way I wanted, the lights, the dual battery system, the hydraulic steering, the trolling, all that stuff, right? I would do that on my own and save the money. Do research, man. You guys think back, well, you both young whippersnappers, but when I was 20 years old, right, we're talking over 30 years ago, or 18, there was no internet. There was no, right? We had Chilton manuals that you went to the parts store and bought that covered whatever model of your vehicle you wanted to work on.
I buy a Chilton anytime I buy a new vehicle, which is like twice in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
But and it's in the back seat, and I might not ever look at the thing,
But you got it.
but it is there in the event that I need it.
Yeah. But today it's even easier with the internet and YouTube. Heck, half the stuff I did on the Mako, I watched someone else do it before I ever did it, right? And that this new boat's going to be the same thing. I need to fix some things on it, right? And then it's going to be, I want to upgrade things. Me and Audrey want to upgrade it to how we want it. And so, yeah, I'll be making videos of all that. But the point is, you don't have to be rich to have nice stuff. You just have to be willing to do the work to make older stuff nice stuff.
And half the work on that is not the physical labor. That's what people are afraid of. You know me. I've got that Silverado running for forever.
Right.
I don't fix the headliner, but I'll fix everything else on it. And it's not that, like, the physical work sucks. I do not enjoy it. I don't like it. I do like knowing all the problems with the truck and being able to fix them. But like 90% of that effort that goes into 90% of the things you have to do is learning how to do it. It's figuring it out. It's watching the YouTube video. It's reading the Chiltons. It's taking the alternator apart and figuring out that it was always the battery. Or, you know, it's going through the stupid troubleshooting process and figuring it out.
And there, you know, along the way, you've got friends that help you do stuff because they might have done it once, or, you know what I mean? And you just learn from each other. But you can't, I mean, you can either sit back and just say, well, I can't have nice stuff because I don't have any money and not have nice stuff. Or you can say, hey, I'm going to put the work in, elbow grease, right? And just work on stuff, you know, woodwork, around your yard work, boat work, whatever it is that you're thinking of, your house, right? A lot of that stuff you can do yourself. Just do a little research. It's not rocket science. Literally, it's not rocket science.
True. So are mostly the problems actual cosmetic then?
So that Garmin works, the radar, the screen's burnt. So I would love to just get all new Simrad, you know, $6,000 later, but we're not at a point where I can afford that right now. So I can find a used head unit for that radar for like $400. So I'll probably do that. And then the autopilot wouldn't boot up. Now, the autopilot, something could be wrong with it where I got to replace it, or it could be something in the wiring, you know, that kind of. The refrigerator wouldn't run when the guy did the whole survey. So, but again, that could be something in the wiring, could be a switch. So I just got to go through it and figure it out. As far as the boat, mechanically, it's fine. I do need to pull the trim tabs sometime in the next year or so. That area's gotten wet. Some of the screws have rotted. Right? Some moisture's gotten in there, so I need to dry that out and then patch that area and then reinstall the trim tabs. And that'll be something I'll do maybe this winter. But yeah, other than that, it's not really big things, right? Motors are both perfectly fine to date. You know, knock on wood, they're 2003s, but they just checked out. That's one thing I did do. I spent the money to have a mechanic go through the motors, and we spent the money for a certain. Now, the bank, for the price of the boat, they said, you know, you have to have a survey. Where they said we had to have one or not, we were going to do a whole survey. This guy came in with a fine-tooth comb from front to back. He's got this meter he uses checking for water in the hole and transom, and his little hammer he's knocking on stuff, all the wiring. I mean, I've got basically what I took that, and then I made myself a to-do list. Okay, I need to go find this and fix this. Okay, there's decals that you're legally supposed to have about dumping over the side and about fuel and all this other stuff that this boat, for some reason, they're not on there right now, but I guess it's a newer requirement. So I got to find these decals, but it's just a list, right? So it was expensive to get that whole survey. But looking at it after the fact, if I hadn't done it, there's a ton of shit I wouldn't know about that boat. You know, so that's why the guy gets the money he gets, is to inform you.
I did not know that about the decals. I've always seen them and assumed, that they had to have been put on there. I didn't realize that they had to be on there.
Mm-hmm.
And as I recall, some of that stuff, like the rules about dumping only apply to a certain amount of miles offshore.
Yeah, and there's certain things at certain but if you're not more than 3 miles offshore, if you're talking about the toilet, for example, you can't dump it within 3 miles, and you have to have something, a mechanical means of that valve not being. You can't just open the valve, so you have to have something holding that valve that you have to use a tool to release. Well, he's like, you could put a zip tie on it, and then a pair of scissors or a knife is a tool to release it. So a zip tie will work. I was like, okay, well, shit, I'll put a zip tie on. So just a bunch of little odds and end things like that I was not aware of.
I saw that in the oil field. That's really funny you say that. I never understood what was going on, but they have wellheads, which are stacks of valves, and they would have the hand wheels missing on them. That was something that we were like constantly replacing in the work that I was doing. And we're always mad about it because it's always hard to find the right wheel, and they have to be color coded for the pressure rating of the valve and some other weird stuff like that. And also I was like, what are these idiots doing, stealing the hand wheels for these valves? And it's not that they were stealing, it's probably that the co-reps were making them take them off for those exact same things. They have to be something that you manually do.
Yeah, probably so. Yeah, my thing, Mark, same here. I mean, I've rebuilt transfer cases, rear ends. I built suspension components when I was doing Jeeps. But now I've gotten to the point in my body, that thing I did on my truck this last weekend where I had to get up underneath that truck, man, I'm getting closer to tapping and saying, okay, I'm going to have to pay somebody. Some of these jobs somebody else is going to have to do just because the old body bending over stuff or laying underneath stuff. The back just don't like that crap no more.
Right.
I keep saying I need to find a young apprentice, one of these young guys that don't, didn't grow up like we did working on stuff, but wants to. I'll be like, all right, we'll come over on Saturday. You want to learn to turn wrenches? And I'll sit back and supervise and guide you through the process.
I bet it's very rare the people that you've had volunteer for that service. And man, what you are offering with that is so invaluable. I couldn't even tell you what I would offer. Like, there's a couple of things that I do need to work on with Silverado that I'm not familiar with. I'm just going to eventually learn my way through it. And I can't tell you how valuable it would be if I could offer you a 12-pack of beer just to have you sit there and tell me what to do.
I'd be happy to. Tell you what to do, like doing. I thought you meant just tell you what to do. I can do that any day.
I want you to sit there because, like, I can do that. I can sit there and have you just tell me right now, oh, do this. All right, cool. I can do that all day long. The problem isn't being told that. Like, I can do that part. It's when I get up under there and the bolt isn't where it's supposed to be. Yeah. Or, there's something that's this, you know what I mean? It's like there's those hiccups, those speed bumps that come across that stop you dead in your tracks halfway through a job and make a 2-hour job, a 6-hour job. Yeah. That's the part where it's like, man, if you could just sit there and, like when I get frustrated and everything starts to suck and I start throwing tools, I need somebody to say, stop it. You're acting like a child. All you need to do is this.
Yeah, I got under there. Of course, I watched a video on this thing I did on the truck, and it wasn't exactly the same. And my truck happened to have a skid plate in the way that I had to remove first. And, of course, those bolts are all seized up, so now you got to bust out the air compressor. And, oh, man.
Yeah.
So, like you said, it should have been maybe a 20-minute job, and it became an hour job.
Yeah. Anytime you have to make multiple trips to the store for that,
those are the worst.
Bolt that's the wrong size or whatever the case might be.
I was just mad making multiple trips to the garage to grab a different tool. Oh, a lot of Jeep people. That's good.
I like that. Rachel's got there's a 4-wheel drive, like 90s model Jeep on the way to work for Rachel. And she's got her eyes on that thing. I don't know. It's got a lift kit on it. It's got the big old swamp tires. And she wants that as her daily driver.
Yeah. It's always a trade-off once you start modifying anything, and Jeeps are the same. I've had Probably.
Yeah, it is. I had that with Silverado.
And each time I started building one, okay, it's going to be a street Jeep that we can go trail riding in. And I need a little more lift. I need a little. Next thing you know, I got a welded rear end in it. I swapped in axles from a different truck, so they're heavier. And I built a front suspension. And it's like, now this thing is awesome with 35s on it, but it's not really pleasant on the road.
Loud. Super loud. Gas mileage is gone. The steering, like you're gonna go through your steering components like so much faster.
Yep.
So did you do any work like that to your boat? Were you like upgrading components that probably should not have been upgraded?
No, I mean, other than lighting, I didn't have to do the lighting, but I wanted better lighting. The steering was a must because it seized up twice on me. And the trolling motor, greatest with that remote control where you can anchor lock. I still I'm planning in the future they make a 96-inch shaft rating trolling motor that I could put on this boat.
Wow.
36 volt, and I'm going to do that when I can afford it. That's about $4,000.
Yeah, how if you don't mind my ask, like that's a double axle, triple axle trailer that boat's going to sit on. Triple axle trailer. So that's a heavy boat. I'm going to guess you're in the low 20s as far as how long it is. 24?
The boat?
Yeah.
28.
28. So that's a big piece of meat that you're driving around. I cannot believe you're able to find a trolling motor for that thing.
Yeah, the 36 volt will work, and it's got the 96-inch shaft to get in the water, but it's not going to work on a rough day out there. It's got to be on nice days out there, and the main thing to use it for is just to anchor lock. Instead of having to put down an anchor and try to sit on some structure or something, you just pull up on it, hit anchor lock, and you'll sit right there over that structure and never have to put out an anchor.
You know, I'm going to, given the opportunity, I'm going to show you, or I want to, you probably, maybe, I don't know, like what you've done with previous ones or not. There are some things that I'm real excited about getting you into out on the oil rigs, and thinking about it. I'm like, yeah. So part of the problem with that is getting locked onto your spot, especially with a boat that size. So yeah, that trolling motor, that's another one that will probably be invaluable for you on those runs. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. But again, you know, it's one of those things down the road. Hey, Pickle, it just got the two twin 225s on it, so it does not have a kicker on it. So that's my other challenge is when I go to Michigan with this boat and I want to troll for walleye, I've got to decide, am I going to figure out a way to slap a kicker on there, or they've got those plates that'll come down over the prop on the big motor, right? And then once you speed up, it gets out of the way, but when you slow down, it drops down so that you can troll slower, right? It slows you down. Or they use, like we use a drift sock just for drifting. They'll put a drift off, and you saw it, Grant, because you were on the boat, on Uncle Leonard's boat. We put those drift socks off each side of the boat, and he uses the big motor as low as he can, and it slows it down enough. So that's one of the issues for a big boat like that is to slow that sucker down if you're going to troll for walleye. Out in the ocean, them guys are trolling 7 or 8 knots, some of them, so it's not a big deal for that boat. But walleye trolling 1 mile an hour, 1.5 miles an hour, that's hard to do with big motors.
I was going to say, we tried on my dad's sea hunt last winter to do some trolling for redfish in the canals. And I believe that the troll speed we were aiming for was like 1.5 knots. And that was basically impossible to attain.
Yeah. Again, that rate on that trolling motor I'm talking about, that would work up in Michigan. I just don't know what your battery life would be because, I mean, that boat weighs over 5,000 pounds. So to pull it around at 1 mile an hour, I don't know. My other one was a 24 volt for the Mako. The Mako was like 2,000 pounds, and we could troll 5 or 6 hours no problem. So I don't know. We'll find out, I guess, and I'll do more research before I ever spend the money on it.
Grant, do you guys do much trolling with the fishing that you do?
Not at all. No, I mean we'll
drift or anchor up.
What's that?
Do you drift or anchor up?
We usually just, go at a decent speed and cast as we go. If we're bass fishing or,
So you're trolling. You're not trolling something behind the boat.
Right. We're using a trolling motor to move,
Okay.
But yeah, just bump it here, straighten us up, go a little ways, Yeah.
That's kind of what we do whenever we go to Wisconsin. We will drop lines behind us most of the time, pretty much the majority of the time, depending on where we're at. I guess I shouldn't say that. But yeah, so what I call trolling on that is we do have lines in the water, but it's actually to keep us at a certain depth range so that we can, we're fishing while we're dragging stuff behind us.
Right.
Hey, what's up, Dad? Appreciate you coming and hanging out with us, man.
Hey,
Glad to hear you got off early.
Yeah, Pickle. So it's a 36 volt, so it already takes 3 batteries. But I've been looking at some of these Dakota lithiums, and for the space I'm going to have to put it in, it'd be better just to get one of the lithiums that's 36 volt. So it's 1 battery, but it's equal to 3 batteries. It's a 36 volt battery. So it'll take up less space. It's lighter than 3 regular 12 volt batteries, and should last longer too. And because of that, they're very expensive. So again, that's down in the future, much further.
One of the things that I love about that boat, it's something that we're concerned about, especially my dad's in the audience. He can probably speak at length about this, but we spend a lot of time, like we do a lot of trips. Now we're able to do a lot of trips where we go, pretty good distance offshore. Whenever I have the opportunity to go with my uncle, and my dad and my uncle are going out pretty often on the boat they got, and they got the twin engines on there. And part of the reason is for speed, because getting out to your fishing spots, the faster you can get there, the more you can fish it. But also, like, the real value in it, the difference between that and my dad's center console when we ever go on his is a single engine. So, we hit the inshore stuff with him, but problems happen. Things happen along the way. You never know if you're going to hit a log. You never know if you're going to blow something, if like blow a fuel line. I don't even know. Like, you never know. You cannot plan for things like that happening. And having those twin engines takes you a lot further, just because you can feel a lot more confident that you have eliminated at least some of the issues that you can come across that'll leave you stranded for God knows how long out there. And having that trolling motor, I cannot even imagine what that trip would be like. But having that third motor, just as a safety precaution, like, that's not going to bring you back 100 miles. I don't know how long that battery is going to last.
Right.
Batteries. But just having that third motor on there for, maybe if it's just good enough to move you back into shipping lanes, that's like just another added layer of protection on that, and making, those deeper offshore trips so much more not scary.
Yeah. And I'm definitely going to get an account with either the Towboat US or Cito.
Yeah,
I've got to go through the different ones and see what kind of accounts they have, as far as, because I'm having a hard time finding one that will cover me both freshwater in Michigan and saltwater down here. They got a saltwater plan or they got a freshwater plan. So I got to see if I can find one that'll cover both of them.
What is with people? This is 2022. This is a globalized society now. We're connected by the internet. You're obviously going to be taking it in salt and freshwater. If you're not taking full advantage of the opportunities, in front of you. And that's dumb. They don't have both options available.
Exactly. Hey, Danny, thanks for stopping by, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, have a good one, Danny. Sorry you're missing out. We're going to be talking about you in just a minute here. We'll be doing our pictures of the week.
Oh, Danny submitted.
He's in there.
All right, good. Good deal. Very cool. Yeah, I've definitely got to have safety devices. Got to make sure I have all the safety devices on the boat before. I want to EPIRB on it before I go offshore any distance. So,
yeah, good call on that. FLIR is a good one if you got some money to spend on it.
Yeah.
If you're going high speed and you plan on coming home late at night.
I like having the radar on there. I just got to get it working and making sure it's working right. That helps. You can see other boats and stuff on there. In course of weather. And it's like learning all new systems, because, I'm coming from Mercury's, and now these are Yamaha. So I'm looking at the manuals and figuring out the maintenance schedules and all that on them. And then I'm coming from Lowrance, and now I've got some Ray Marine and Garmin gear, so I'm digging up the owner's manuals on those and figuring out all the, you know what I mean? So it's a learning process for me. It's going to take me a little bit. The first time I take it out, I just want to get it to Canyon Lake and then just maneuver the boat. You know what I mean? Audrey and them, they can swim and do all that, but I'm going to spend some time just docking, getting away from a dock, and just maneuvering the boat so that I'm confident when time comes that I got to do it somewhere for reals. You know, I'm not first trip down the coast is probably going to be hanging around the jetties, maybe just outside the jetties, depending on the weather, and just get a feel for it, you know?
Our first trip in any boat that we've ever done. In fact, Nick has a boat that we dropped the ball on it, but we've been talking forever about taking this thing out and doing an experimental run. And it's almost always for us been going down to the T-heads in Corpus Christi because it's got that protected breakwater and just putting around that whole area right there. You got the southeast wind. So, Port Aransas is a little bit there. You got a lot of traffic Port A, so not quite the same issue. But in Corpus Christi, your worst case scenario is that you're going to get blown right back to Shoreline Drive.
Yeah, that's true. True. Well, you want to show off some pictures?
Let's do it. It's about that time, and we got some things to talk about with them.
Let's do it. Can you bring it up, or you want me to bring it up?
Let me see. I don't have the ability to bring it up. It's got to be you. Okay, and I think I can navigate it. So
full screen.
No, let's do it like that. I like it like that. We need to see our reaction. So if anybody's like, oh my God, we need to see their face. So this is our pictures of the week. This is everything that we got going on with the Discord server. And this includes our entries for the photographer of the week. We're going to all be voting on that in just a moment here. For the Discord server, the way that works is every week there's going to be a photographer winner, the guy who posts the best picture. And everybody here has to vote on that. Only one person or two, like last week, so we had two winners. They tied. So both of them got the role in Discord, which gives some extra privileges and some extra fun stuff. Typically, it's going to be like one photographer a week, and they're going to take the belt away from the last guy. So only one person gets to be it. But that person does get to be put at the top of the server list, so they're going to be seen every time they're on there. They're going to be listed right up there with admins and staff and stuff.
Cool.
So different color and all that fun stuff. Not to mention, well, we are going to have some. There's going to be some additional portions of the Discord server that they're allowed into, and we're going to have in the future. We're going to have some other fun things that I'll be talking about a little bit later. I'm not ready to announce them yet, but we're going to have some fun stuff with it. So all that aside, let's take a look at all the pictures all the best pictures that have been submitted this week. And if he's still here, I want to thank the moderators, Kai, that's OK Fishing, and I'm sorry, give me just 1 second. I completely forget. I'm forgetting names here. Dark Soldier, sorry about that. Kai, Dark Soldier, and Nodi, I want to thank you guys for helping me call this list, take care of all of the moderating stuff that y'all do, and just making my life generally much easier. Okay, so now all that having been said, first, I want to drop this on you. This is Rich. This is his pictures of the week. I had to slip those in there. So he got himself a nice shark. He got cut off by a couple of 40+ inchers. He did manage to land that one. His buddy over here on the side, his name's Mark. We just met this gentleman, did a lot of fishing with him over the weekend, and that's him with an absolute stud flounder.
That is a stud.
I was doing a little flounder research with this gentleman earlier. So wow. Great guy. I loved him. And then, so that sequence that I was telling you about involved this redfish. This is one I'm really proud of. He's not particularly large. He was a slot, so I did get to eat him. But the sequence of events that went into catching that fish was one of the absolute best 5 minutes I have ever spent fishing. It was amazing. It was fun.
It's gonna be fun, man. I can't wait now.
It's going to be a good one, man. I hope the footage turns out the way I need it to. We will see. But that was my weekend. Let's look at everybody else here. Amateur Outdoors. This is right out of one of his, I believe, if not his most recent video, one of his recent videos. He was out there doing some fly fishing on the creeks, and he was getting himself into. He was looking for smallmouth, but he got himself some. I call them bluegills. He was calling them sunfish. I don't know the difference because I'm a saltwater guy, but I thought that was kind of crazy. Fly fishing for sunfish.
That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty cool.
And then we got K Franzis and JCA with another couple of good ones. Of course, K Franzis, every time he posts pictures, he's always got those crazy fish from the Philippines, and they're always getting them.
Yeah, I can't figure them all out.
I can't either, but man, it makes me want to get out there with him. I'm not going to lie.
Right.
JCA with probably the best picture of a bass we've gotten in a while. That's an awesome shot, man.
That is good. You got the background kind of
yeah, he's got
out.
that
It's
focal
really
distortion, pretty time of day. I will say though, JCA is not here to defend himself. So if anybody wants to, say anything negative about him, there's nothing he can do about it. And you know the rules for that. Amateurs here. K Franzis isn't. So you guys, unless you are, let me know now or forever hold your peace. You guys need to be here to defend yourselves.
Now, are we voting on the best picture here or photographer here?
So we'll get into the specifics of that in just a moment. I'm going to have all the best pictures lined up, and we're all going to choose them. Okay. When we do, it's photographer of the week. So we're looking at the best photograph.
Okay.
And that's, there's some points for the much better catch. There's some points for like a really amazing photograph. We're going to see examples of each of these, and it's going to be up to everybody in the chat and everybody on panel to weigh, what's more important in these. One of the winners last week was SoFlo Outdoors, who's not here to defend his title. And he had just this massive alligator that he got. It wasn't a great photo, but the alligator itself was freaking awesome. So, we kind of, you got to weigh the value of each. Next up, we got K Franzis with another one. That's another shot he had from that. And just look at that water, awesome catch. I don't even know what kind of fish that is, but just being out there in that water, those kinds of conditions is amazing.
It's like a yellow jack or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you got me, man. I mean, it looks like a yellow striped barrelfish to me. I don't know. I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
A big poppy with a nice bass. I don't know how to pronounce Robe de Moy. I'm not sure how to say that name. He's got his faces blacked out. That's fine. But that is a beast. I think it's a muskie.
I was going to say it's probably even though it's really dark, it's probably a muskie because, man, if that was a northern pike, that would be a monster.
There was some conversation about that, and I don't know what direction that conversation went, but yeah, they were talking about whether or not it was a muskie or a pike. I believe it was a muskie. Somebody in the chat, if you were involved in that conversation, correct me if I'm wrong on that. And then MLG lungfish got him. So I don't know, what is that? A warmouth?
It's a crappie.
Is that a crappie? It looks like some kind of little bass.
Maybe. I don't know.
It's freshwater.
I think it's a little bass. I got it big on my one screen so I can see it better.
Hey, amateurs saying the secret to his is it's a screenshot from his footage. I do the same thing.
Yeah, I've done that.
Yeah. It's hard to film and get a picture. So if you got a good enough phone or camera, whatever you're using, where you can get a screen grab from it, that's how you do it.
Yeah.
Pickle saying northern. I remember them talking about the possibility of that being just a sick northern.
Oh, that would be a monster northern.
Here is one of those things where I wish the photo had been better, so we could see the patterns on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Next up, we got Channel Cats and Cat Scans, Pioneer Goosey and Your Local Idiot with a couple of fun pictures. That one with Channel Cats, that's a really pretty picture. That's one of those where I wish they'd done just a little color correction to it, but it's a pretty time of day. Really cool contrast on that. So just the photo itself is really nice. Goosey got himself a nice mahi, and Your Local Idiot got himself a PB catfish.
Personal best, huh? Yeah, it looks like a little mud. What the hell you call
little mud cat?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can see with that mahi, it looks like some type of something in the tuna family laying in there with it. See that big old eyeball?
Yep. Oh, I didn't even catch that, but you're right. I'm gonna guess that's a bonita.
Yeah, could be. Absolutely.
I would think that typically when you're out there, if you're catching yellowfin or blackfin, you're probably going to go a little bit more size large on the Dorado. My guess, my 2 cents. Bonita, yeah, Scully's saying the same thing. Bonita. Scully, is that yours, or are you just familiar with it? Sometimes people have different names on here. Next up, we got Zorpan, who has been on an absolute tear, just a really like fun conversationalist in the server. Deserves a pat on the back. Is that?
That's a type of perch, but he's not from around here, is he?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I couldn't identify it. I don't know what
that looks like the
Zorpan
one
is
you
not.
see over in Europe.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So I don't know the first thing about it. Grant, you got?
No, I was gonna say it looks like a zebra fish and a perch mix or something. Lionfish, I don't know.
Yeah. A walleye and a perch, right?
It does. It looks like a cross between a yellow perch and a walleye.
Yep.
He's got those red fins, like you really worked them hard too.
And then the next one is what is that? Freshwater drum, right?
That's what it looks like.
Yeah, I don't know. He didn't say anything about it. He just wanted to be in on the competition, and it was a decent enough, picture. I was like, okay, I'll throw that in there.
Yeah.
I'm assuming drum. The freshwater ones look a little different.
Yeah, I think it is. Gasper goo.
Yep, sheephead.
North, and all kinds of names for them.
Tight lines. I don't know if I.
That's a smallmouth.
Is it? I thought that was a largemouth.
I can't tell.
I didn't even realize it until I'm looking at the pictures here. I put it in here. He didn't have many options, and he's been like real active and stuff like that. But I don't know about lipping him like that.
You will have some people complain of those pictures.
Yeah, he's a little guy, but
yeah, he is.
And then
we'll complain about all three of those pictures because there's people that say you're not supposed to hang a fish ever because
really
its internals aren't made to, the weight of it to go down like that. And so, and then there's people that do it all the time. So.
I have seen a lot of that lately. A lot of people like hold them by the stomach. I don't do that, but then I don't release many. For releasers, I will be more mindful of that. I'd never do that before, but it makes sense. Yeah. I also try to dispatch fish quickly, and I'm not trying to.
There he is.
Yeah, Mr. Danny Baker got himself a solid slot red.
It's a golden one.
Yeah, it is. Really pretty picture.
It is pretty.
Tim Sue with a sculpin?
Is it?
I think is what that's called.
I don't know.
That's one of those West Coast fish I'm not too familiar with.
Yeah, he's neat looking.
Mm-hmm. Nick got himself that's one of the biggest bass that we had anybody present this week. So
that's a good size one. Got a big
good one. And then we got learning to fly. Spent a little time offshore and in the saltwater. Obviously, I'm a little partial to the old redfish there, but I can't argue with Bonita.
Pretty colors on that redfish also.
Yeah, exactly right. So now it is the time. Everybody in the chat, everybody on panel, anybody who is hearing this at any point in time, let us know who you think, who's the winner this week? Who is our photographer of the week? And you can judge on whatever is the best photo. You can judge on who had the best fish, whatever combination of things that you want to consider for this. This is your opportunity. Let your voice be heard. The belt is going to be taken away from SoFlo Outdoors. And what's the other gentleman's name? Now I forget. He's not set up on here. It was SoFlo Outdoors, and I got it right here. Pickle. Sorry, Pickle. SoFlo and Pickle. You're going to be taking the belt away from those guys. So
best photo.
Mark J. Larson sent me a picture of a smallmouth he caught, I'm guessing, over the weekend. I guess he wants me to share it. If you guys just check it out real quick while you're
throw it up while everybody's voting. You want to throw it up? Go ahead.
I'm still trying to pick.
We got 2 for Franzis so far. I'm gonna vote JCA myself. I'm going C.
Golly, that's tough.
Amateur on A for Danny Baker.
Yeah, I like
B. So we got 3 for Franzis, 1 for Channel Cats.
I'm torn.
Guys got about 30 seconds.
The vote's in.
you guys still there. You popped out on me for a second.
Still here.
Oh, there you are. You got 2 for Danny. We got 3 for Franzies.
Grant, did you vote?
I did not vote in the chat. I'm going to vote.
We got 2 for channel.
There's no channel.
I'm going to vote for Danny.
There's no Danny.
Oh, we're 3 and 3. Danny and Franzies. Do we have any tiebreakers? Anybody else want to cast their vote and make this interesting? Or are we going to walk away with 2 winners again? Oh, somebody's slipping in, sliding it over to. Oh, yeah, okay. We've got Danny running with it now. 4-3.
All right. Yep. How much more time to vote?
Yeah, I think we're out of time. You guys want to keep casting your votes, go right ahead. We'll continue this, but it looks like right now we are at Danny Baker. We are, man, we're having to hammer through some stuff here. Grant, show us some pics. What do you got from Mark?
There it is.
Look at that bad boy.
Yes.
So that's a smallmouth, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
2.7.
That is a nice one.
Nice.
Definitely a good fish.
That's a good shot, Mark.
It is a good shot.
That's a good fish.
Yep.
That's all I got.
Very cool. Very cool. Uh-oh. Oh. There we go. Almost
Come on,
lost
man. I wasn't doing that bad.
I was kicking Stanley out. I was like, get out of here. Get out. Danny Baker, congrats, man. I know
Yep,
he's not
he
in
ran
the
with it.
run, but we'll let him know.
Yeah.
Let him know he is the prestigious winner.
We will make an announcement, and for anybody who is interested and wants to get in on all of this fun, John, correct me if I'm wrong. There is a link to the Discord in the comments down below. Appreciate that, sir.
It is down below in the there's links to all of our pages and to the Discord server down below. So if you ain't a part of it, go check it out.
Have some fun as well as the other stuff. John's got an amazing Facebook group. We have all of our YouTube channels. All 3 of us here are all producing some real fun content on YouTube and various other platforms. Grant over here has one of the best TikTok accounts I've ever seen in my life.
I think both of you guys are killing TikTok right now.
It's mainly outdoors.
Yeah, I've been enjoying both your TikToks. We got a couple minutes left, and it's be time already. So we've talked about what we've done and all that. Let's talk about what's coming up. Grant, you got anything planned coming up?
I'm on call this week. Let's see. I'm going to try to go dove hunting after work one of these evenings.
Cool.
We'll see. It's supposed to rain. It's supposed to cool off. We're supposed to have low 80s this weekend, but it's supposed to, there's a chance to rain again. So
I'd take some low 80s. That sounds nice. What about you, Mr. Stanley Orchard? You got stuff coming up real soon?
Shoot, man. I'm editing videos that we filmed 6 weeks ago. That having been said, I'm going to be editing hard this week, hopefully. And I got my dad in the chat, so I'm going to put his toes to the coals. There is a possibility that we're going to be spending a little time way offshore on Friday. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed and hoping that I am, pushing myself to the point where I'm running out of memory on the old memory card.
That would be awesome. Yeah, Ben's got a point. We've got 13 viewers and 8 thumbs up. So if you haven't done it, hit that thumbs for us, guys. We appreciate that.
Yeah, appreciate that.
In the coming week, I should be picking up a boat, and then maybe I can give a little more details. I'm going to do a walkthrough video of it, show all the good, the bad, and the ugly, and then start the process of ownership of a new boat. So I'm excited about that. Trying to get over
that Grady White, man.
Yeah.
Chef's kiss. Excellent choice.
Man, we went down and see it. We both look at it and we're like, man, it's big. But man, it's awesome. So we'll see. We will see. What else? So where are we at next week? Who's up?
Down there.
That guy down over there, wherever he is, right there.
Let's have some fun. Let's have some fun with this, guys. Bring in some pics. Send them our way. Let's get them on here. Let's have some fun with this. And also get out there and go have an amazing weekend so that, if you don't get pics, that's fine. Go make some memories. Go do something amazing and then we can all share those experiences next Tuesday.
Absolutely. All right, folks.
Have fun and be safe.
Y'all. Yeah, everybody have a good week, and we will see you next Tuesday at Stanley's place. All right.
Night, guys.
All right. Good night, all.
Night.